This is a crisis of a nature that no single company can muster.
This idea of the leader that has the vision of a saint, the endurance of an athlete, and the strategy of a general, it just doesn't fit.
We don't want corporate speak. We don't need nice marketing campaigns. It's got to be genuine, and people will know these days whether it's genuine.
Welcome to People in Profit. Today we're looking at leadership during a crisis. The Covid-19 pandemic means company bosses are having to take drastic decisions to save their businesses. How CEOs act during this period will also affect how they and their firm are viewed by workers, suppliers and customers. For many, this will be the biggest challenge of their careers, and our economic recovery depends on their success in saving livelihoods.
It was supposed to be a really, really good bumper year. And then, of course, COVID hit. It hit all of us, our suppliers, our customers, and revenue went to zero very, very quickly.
I've spent years, nearly 38 years actually, in insurance. So we've been used to dealing with crises, big natural disasters and things that go wrong in the world. But nothing has had quite the force across the whole globe. And I think this is what's so tough for business leaders at the moment.
I think what the crisis is doing is it's amplifying a transition. It's amplifying questions that people have been asking of CEOs' work and that CEOs very often have been asking themselves. Now, in order to respond to it, I think we need to throw away the old playbook of leadership. The best you can offer as a leader in these situations is to take actions that contain anxiety and reduce uncertainty, but without denying reality.
Securing the future of the company is the primary objective. So the company has to survive. Beyond that, making sure that we're there for our customers and our partners. After that, it is the protection of our employee base. Because I think ultimately for our shareholders, if we have an incredible customer base who will, by the way, fund our recovery, if we have an incredible supplier base who will make sure that these experiences can happen, and if we make sure we have an incredible, motivated workforce where we don't lose any of the knowledge, again, that will help in the recovery, then this will ultimately benefit the shareholders.
Everything about managing in a crisis, if you're the leader of an organization or in any leadership position, it's got to be about the people. And in the discussions I've had with senior leaders, it's the care about the people that's taking topmost priority around the executive table and indeed the board table. And I think people will really remember how you cared for them or not when this is all over.
We are extremely transparent with our staff, with our shareholders. They get the same weekly email from my co-founder and CEO about the state of the business, about where our head is. And look, ultimately, our employees are taking voluntary cuts. You only take a voluntary cut if you have trust, and trust only is there if you're transparent.
If you don't know the answers, I think it's often better to tell your own people you don't know the answer, but you're going to work on it and you're going to work through something. And really include people around you in decision making, because often when you're in the C-suite, you can get a bit detached from a reality for your employees. And so often it's good to check in with them. Sometimes they're 2 steps ahead of you. Sometimes we underestimate what they already know. And we don't often know what's going through their heads in terms of worries.
If you're not honest, people can't trust you. And at this time, everything else is in question. You don't know about your financial resources. You don't know if your customers are going to be there. You don't know when things are going to be open. You have only one asset, and that is trust. And if you lose that, you've lost everything.
So a lot of people might be, particularly if you're very used to this, looking at the future, forecasting. Try not to do that at the moment. There is so much uncertainty out there.
Forget style. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We obsessed about leadership style, but any style will work. If your work is an expression of care, people will appreciate it, people will forgive and understand the pain that comes with it.
Nobody wants to wish a crisis on them just so that they can have the experience. But my goodness, do you learn? You learn about working in a team, you learn about trust, you learn about the power and importance of communication.
CEOs have been saying for a long time, we really care about our employees and our talent. We care about society. We care about the environment. Well, now this is really the time to show it.
I do think that the most personal learnings that we've done as founders is to see the incredible commitment that people have, that you're not alone in believing in this journey.
People want to see people as vulnerable. And so that, I think, is a kind of good thing. And if a bit more of that can come into leadership, fewer egos, people being much more open and inclusive, I think that can be a good long-term thing for business.
Well, that's it from us for this week. Thank you to all of my guests. You can get in touch with us on social media with your thoughts on what company bosses should be doing during this crisis. Until next time, thanks for watching.
France is known around the world for its culture. Be it music, cinema, or art, some would say it's exceptional. So exceptional, in fact, that France defends its culture from things like British bestsellers or Hollywood films. Well, since the late 50s, a state policy has been put in place to protect and promote French culture. It's called l'exception culturelle, the cultural exception, and that's the subject of the next French Connections Plus.
French Connections Plus, presented by Jeannie Godula and Florence Villemino.